Yo, Joe!
Hello everybody and welcome back to another figure review. Today we're going to take a look at the G.I.Joe classified Cobra MetalHead. Now this is a more recent release from the classified series, shipped sooner than we expected, you know, as we always tend to see now with the classified series. They give us a date and then they're like, no, we're going to push it up, you know, 2 months, or we're gonna ship it early 2 months. But yeah, MetalHead here overall is a great figure, and we'll go through his packaging real quick without making him fall over. But you get the nice portrait there, and then you do get a little bit of a detail there of cold slither. So it's got a lot of people excited for the future. You have this cool background in there with the Cobra logo and whatnot. It just has different Cobra logos as the background, so you can use that to take some pictures of him in front of it. But we are getting introduced to the Iron Grenadiers here. A lot of people like this sort of sub team from the Destro kind of. It's Destro's own sort of little group of, you know, soldiers and whatnot. G.I.Joe classified series. We have Cobra logo on top, number 118. We have that beautiful portrait here on the side, and I'm trying not to, you know, make him fall over, but there's the crazy portrait there of him looking very cool. And then you have the back here. In that shot, we do have another character back here. That might be MetalHead, I'm not too sure. I just see the yellow top and the jeans, and he's sort of holding up a hat. So I think that might be MetalHead. And then we have a few zoom in shots of details and whatnot, his abilities or skills. But other than that, pretty standard packaging. And let's move on to the figure itself, which I do have rotating here, but there's a lot to unpack with this guy. I will start off with details and whatnot, just because I do have some complaints when it comes to this guy, but I don't think they're too big. Or we'll go through a figure and you guys can decide that for yourself, but I do have complaints with him. So let's get right into it. In terms of accessories, I might as well move that to the side. But in terms of accessories, we do have quite a lot. Some of them he is already holding. Take those off. Starting with the smallest here, we do have a knife here with the nice silver blade there. Very nice. I think we saw these with the snow serpents and the Valkyries. We also saw this with the Valkyries and snow serpents. You do have a removable mag and a two-tone color for the gun with the red, which looks very nice. You can put blast effects on it. And then we have the same assault rifle from the Valkyries and snow serpents. Again, two-tone color, removable mag. We've seen this mold before, and then you can put blast effects on it as well. So it looks very nice. Some people are using these for their his tank arsenal because they are red, so you know, kind of fits in. But those are his handheld weapons. We get different hair pieces. I think they're sculpted the same from what I can see. Yeah, they're sculpted the same, but this one has the added glasses with the sort of targeting system, and this one does not. And the way this works is by removing whatever he has on. So just like other hair pieces or head pieces we've seen on the classified line, same system here. And here we have this crazy looking helmet, which I think will be my preferred look for him. But yeah, tons of paint and detail with this helmet. I love the yellow eyes, some red here for those spikes, and then just silver on the back here. It kind of looks more like samurai-esque there on the back. And then, you know, some crazy detailing going on there, crazy design going on for it. But yeah, it's easy to just fit on top as such. So here you go. You can have him with the helmet. We can have him with his regular hair. And I think this is my least favorite look. This is my favorite look. This is my second favorite look with the glasses here. This makes him look very crazy and whatnot. I'll leave that on there. But yeah, with that being said, well, I might as well remove it so we can take a look at his eyes and, you know, that little kind of teardrop tattoo he's got going on there. The grinning teeth, his beard. I do wish his beard, I don't know, it just looks much more bushier or puffier on this one, at least, you know, for the mustache and whatnot. I wish we would have gotten a lot more of those wrinkles we see in the portrait there, sculpted on this guy, but we don't, so that's a bit unfortunate. You know, even the wrinkles up here on the forehead like we see over there would have been nice. Here we have that cold sliver detail, which is a reference, I believe, to some sort of band in the cartoon. If I can put some footage, I'll put it up. But yeah, there's some nice detail there. Some nice silver, you know, kind of scratching that's been going on from battling and whatnot. And then you have some X's, you know, I guess Joe members or Joe grunts that he has killed. And then you have the back here, which, you know, crazy ton of detail going on for it. Looks very nice. And I do believe this is all new sculpt. I'm not too sure. Destro there on his shoulder here, looking very cool. So yeah, tons of different detail. You have his pouches, his vest, his legs here, and I think I'm just gonna remove that for now. His boots here with some nice red, gray for the knee pads. You have these other overlay pieces which, you know, hold these sort of ball pegs here, and that's where you just attach these missile launchers. And for the most part, they can be a little tight, so it might be a little bit scary to, you know, move them around because you might twist the ball peg. I think on this side it's much tighter. It can pivot in there, but once you get it moving, it does move. And so that's nice to see that it's not gonna, you know, just twist the peg off. So yeah, that's very nice. The rocket launcher themselves have some nice silver detail there. And then these also count as separate accessories because they are removable. The missiles themselves are removable. I will say, I did not like how they packaged in these effects because I felt like I was just bending them a little bit. So yeah, as one complaint getting them out of the package, these effects were in there pretty tight. And so, you know, I suggest just using some sort of X-Acto knife to cut around them and removing them safely. But yeah, I felt like I bent a few of them, and you know, they've straightened out for the most part, so that's nice. But yeah, overall they are nice. Some nice transparent plastic with, you know, the white smoke, and then you can have, you know, your missile obviously shooting out, which is very nice. One complaint I've seen is that you can't really store the missiles in there, you know, because they're not a tight fit and they would just fall out. I wouldn't really use this as storage. I'm gonna display him, you know, shooting all his missiles out. But yeah, I can see how some people might have wanted to, you know, have some rockets just stored in there, which is a bit unfortunate, but that's how they designed it. But I think that's as much detail as we can take a look at with this guy. We have his back piece here, which is also crazy looking, sort of an exosuit, sort of. But yeah, you have crazy detail with this, different mechanical details, bolts and screws and whatnot. You have the two holes there for his back, because these do, you know, come out. And yeah, I mean, it's just as easy as plugging it in, but I think I might look at this on its own over here, because you do have a swivel for both of the turrets or missile launchers at the base of the backpack here. And then you do have a hinge here so that it can go up to the side as such. So for both of those. And then we have no hinge here. We do have a hinge up here at the very top, so it can go all the way down, all the way to the other side, whichever way you want. And then you still have a ball joint going into the launcher themselves, and you get some pretty crazy movement in there, as you can see there. So you can make it point up, or, you know, aim upwards, whichever direction you need it to go, it'll go. Looking at the detail for these launchers up here, you get the silver again there at the end, and just different little details. These missiles are larger than your smaller ones, for, you know, the ones down on his legs. So there's that. And the missile effect is also bigger, so the small one won't fit on there. So those are specific for the big ones. And of course you can remove these as well, as such. And again, you can't store these. Yeah, these are too big actually to really put in there. Maybe a small one. Well, that's stuck in there. Well, there you go. If you want to store one of your missiles, you can do that. It just kind of stayed in there, and I can't get it out. All right, there we go. I had to get my tweezers out to get that missile out. But yeah, again, I'm gonna display him with all his missiles going all crazy and whatnot, so I don't mind not having the storage for the rockets. I can always just put them in a separate baggie if I don't want any of the rockets displayed. But yeah, overall, my complaints mostly lie with the back piece here. The hoses aren't the best connections to these rockets here, because you do have, I don't know how well, there you go. You have holes, and these are supposed to go in there, but you know, when you mess with it, they just pop out, so you have to port them in again. And one of the sides, I believe it was this side, I had to carve away at the hose a little bit, simply because it was too wide, it wouldn't go in. You can see how I slightly removed a bit of plastic so that it would go in a little bit more. But yeah, that would be my one complaint. You can't really move this guy around without these popping off on you. So it can be a little tricky and a bit annoying. You know, you're trying to get that pose and it just keeps popping off. And, you know, it can be a little irritating, but it's something I'm willing to suffer through just to get, you know, a pose or something. But yeah. That being said, I think that was my main complaint going on with this guy. Articulation wise, his head doesn't look up all that much because of his hair. He can look down a little bit side to side, his head pivoting. You have some great butterfly joints there. Arms go out about that much. You have your bicep swivel, double jointed arms, as you can see there. This hinges vertically, so up and down, and this side goes side to side horizontally. You do have that great waist pivot, and then you do get some ab crunch, you know, and you see what I mean, the things just start popping off. But you have some great ab crunch going on there. There's enough space under that vest. You can kick forward pretty well to the side. You do have his upper thigh cut. He does have double jointed knees, boot swivel, and then the feet go back, forward, and you do have ankle pivot. So, you know, good articulation with this guy, but I don't think I would use it too much, especially since, you know, my complaint here with these hoses, that they're just all over the place. I don't really like how loose they are in these ports. But you know, I'm willing to deal with it, so it's whatever at this point. But yeah, I think that mostly does it for Metalhead. So there you have it. There's my take on Metalhead. He's tricky to pose. He can be a little annoying with his accessories, but he looks great. He looks like tons of fun, and I still recommend anyone to get this guy. Um, he's just a blast to look at. You know, just a simple pose without those missiles launching makes him look 10 times better. And as you can see, the scrap iron effects kind of work well with this guy. You know, so many explosions. So if you have more of the explosions, you can use them all and, you know, get that very crazy explosive scene. But that does it for me. Yeah, I have my complaints, but at the end of the day, I can deal with them, and it doesn't necessarily, you know, take away from the figure. And that, in the end, the figure looks great, and it poses well, and it functions well. It's just a little, you know, irritating to deal with those tubes. Um, but that does it for my review. What do you guys think of Metalhead here? I think he's a great addition to the classified line. But with that being said, I hope you guys enjoyed, and I'll see you guys in a future video.